Hey y'all, I thought that I would come on here and do a 1 year on Lexapro update. I started Lexapro in April of 2022, so it's been a year now, and I've been on 10 milligrams the entire time. So here are the pros and cons that I've noticed since starting Lexapro. Let's get into it. This is my own experience. Of course, if you're considering any sort of psychiatric medication, make sure that you consult your doctor. Make sure, I would say, to also be doing like therapy alongside with it. That makes it more likely to be successful. Yeah, so disclaimer, make sure you consult your doctor first. This is just my own individual experience, and I hope that I can provide people who are maybe on the fence about starting medication. I hope that like hearing someone else's experience might help reduce those feelings of being like scared to try it. I'll start with the cons so that we can do the negatives and then all of the positives. So I've noticed kind of like 7 main cons to starting Lexapro. The first one being like mild weight gain and bloating. This is mitigated by even just like walking more, but that's something that I notice I'm really sensitive to. If I'm more sedentary, I definitely like see it and feel it. Next, I would say I definitely experience more fatigue. I take my meds at night to prevent me from like falling asleep during the day because they definitely make me sleepy, but I definitely notice that especially like after lunchtime I still get extra sleepy. It has been great though because I never used to really be able to take a nap, and now I can nap, which is honestly like huge for me. Also, if I have like a second cup of coffee between like 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., then I'm usually like good. As far as like feeling sleepy in the afternoon, as long as it's before like 1 p.m.-ish, then it doesn't affect my sleep. Next, I would say the vivid dreams are kind of a con. I've always had really vivid dreams, but it's gotten like even more intense since starting Lexapro. Like for example, I was never really a person that like acted out my dreams in my sleep, but now it'll be like if something's happening in my dreams, I might be like, wow, like with my arms while I'm sleeping. So that vividness and I don't know what you would call like the acting out stuff, has definitely, I wouldn't call it like a major con, but it's definitely like increased since starting the medication and hasn't really gone away. Next, I would say restless leg syndrome. It's not like as intense as like actual restless leg syndrome, but I do notice that my legs, like when I go to sleep, are really restless. Like it can be hard for my legs to get comfortable, and I find myself just like almost like rubbing my feet together. I don't know, TMI maybe. But yeah, sometimes my legs can feel a little restless around nighttime, sleep time. Next, TMI. I wouldn't say that I experienced like intense like sexual dysfunction, but there's definitely like some numbness that goes on, and it goes away, but yeah. Next, I would say heat sensitivity. I definitely feel like more sensitive to heat, and then in general, like I used to consider myself someone that was always cold, so I don't know if maybe Lexapro has somehow impacted my tendency towards anemia or something. But I definitely feel more warm now. I don't really have to wear like socks to sleep. I used to be someone where like my feet would just be freezing all the time, which kind of leads to like night sweats. I haven't had anything intense, but just like feeling hot most of the time. And the last con I would say is it's definitely kind of impacted my vision. I've worn glasses since like 4th grade, but I've definitely noticed like an extra bit of decrease in my vision. Sorry, dog anxiety music ad. Now getting into the positives, there's definitely just as many positives. Of course, the main ones being, number one, increased mood. I definitely have way more good days than bad days. And even on the bad days, it's not as intense. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, I feel like a normal person. I feel like I'm better able to utilize the tools. Sorry, my dog's trying to make a nest. I feel like I'm better able to utilize the tools that I learned in therapy, and how to address like those automatic negative thoughts, and to be able to like talk to myself when I'm kind of like making things up in my head, you know? So increased mood, and then of course decreased anxiety, because I'm able to kind of like reason my way out of things. And then I'm also able to take like a more, oh, and then the third one was able to use like more coping skills. Like especially when it comes to not intellectualizing feelings and taking a more somatic approach, I've definitely been able to like notice those things in my body more. And like, it's so crazy because I remember always being told like, oh my gosh, you can hear my dog drinking water, I'm sorry. I always was told, you know, just take a deep breath or whatever, and taking a deep breath honestly would make my anxiety worse. It made me feel like I was going to hyperventilate. But now taking a deep breath really, really does help me calm my body down and collect my thoughts. And so that's been really, really helpful. A lack of suicidal ideation, of course, is a plus. Pretty obvious, pretty self-explanatory. Sleep. My sleep has improved a lot. Gosh, like I get way, you know, have way more good nights of sleep than bad nights of sleep. That's made a huge difference in my mental health, of course. Just being able to get more sleep. Or if I have a night where I don't get that much sleep, I still feel like the sleep I did get was more restful, if that makes sense. And then of course, like with all of those things combined, I feel like I have more energy, more motivation, which allows me to do things like exercise more. I realized too, like where exercise would kind of, I think, like induce my asthma, because I was confusing it with having a panic attack. So it's been a lot easier to exercise and even like run shorter distances since starting Lexapro, which has been cool. Last but certainly not least, I would say that the main major pro to starting Lexapro has been an increase in my confidence and my self-esteem. I feel a lot more confident speaking my mind at work and being my authentic self, which isn't always like I tend towards like a fawn response and people pleasing, and I know that those are big like buzzwords right now in pop psychology, but that is something that I experienced a lot of. And it tied hand in hand with my perfectionism, and not to get too deep into my own my own stuff, but my confidence and my self-esteem has improved a lot, and being able to differentiate between what is my responsibility or my fault versus what's not, which also I know plays a big role in my PTSD diagnosis when it comes to shame and guilt and all that stuff. Yeah, so those are the like 7 main pros and cons that I've noticed since starting Lexapro. It's one of the best decisions I have made in my entire life, and I wish that I'd made the decision sooner. Thank you for watching. Again, I hope that this was helpful and provided some firsthand experience information for folks that may be on the fence about medication. Yeah. Not every SSRI is for everyone. There's lots of different kinds out there, so if one doesn't work for you, you can always try another. There's different dosages and everything. Please, please, please consult your doctor. And yeah, don't forget to take care of yourself. You have to put on your oxygen mask first before you can help anyone else, right? Thanks again for watching. Bye.